the beginning of everything, the perfect angel who became the enemy. Imagine a celestial being of indescribable beauty, created directly by God, with power and wisdom surpassing all other angels. Now imagine that this being, perfect in every way, chose to turn against his own creator. But why? What led the most magnificent creature in heaven to desire something beyond the very presence of the divine? The story of Lucifer's rebellion is not just an ancient tale. It is the greatest mystery of the fall of a being who had everything but wanted more, and that desire condemned him for all eternity. Lucifer. This name evokes mystery, fear, and controversy. He is depicted as God's great adversary, the Lord of Darkness, the ruler of hell. But before becoming the malevolent entity we know today, Lucifer was a glorious being, created to stand among the highest in heaven. According to scripture and theological interpretations, he was created as an anointed cherub, adorned with precious stones and endowed with unparalleled wisdom and beauty. His role? To serve God directly, reflecting his glory and leading praises in the presence of the Almighty. But pride began to creep into this perfect heart. The one who was meant to reflect God's glory started to desire that glory for himself. But what exactly happened? How did this being, created for obedience and worship, choose to rebel? The pride that corrupted him. The key to understanding Lucifer's fall lies in pride. In Ezekiel 28:12-17, we find a description that many believe refers to him. The text speaks of a perfect, celestial being who walked in Eden and was cast out due to his inner corruption. But what led him to this state? The answer's in Isaiah 14:12-14, where we find words that echo Lucifer's rebellious heart. I will ascend to heaven. Above the stars of God I will exalt my throne. I will be like the Most High. These words reveal a hidden desire. Lucifer didn't just want to serve God. He wanted to be God. He wanted the throne, the worship, the sovereignty. And this desire was his ruin. Here we enter into a controversial issue. If Lucifer was a perfect being, how was it possible for him to become corrupted? How can evil arise within perfection? This is one of the most discussed questions in theology. Some believe that God gave free will to angels just as to humans, and Lucifer used this freedom to choose pride over submission. Others believe that his elevated position and incomparable power led him to a sense of self-importance so great that he considered himself worthy of reigning. But one thing is certain. This forbidden desire led to his downfall and the greatest conflict the universe has ever witnessed. And now the big question arises, did Lucifer act alone or did he convince others to follow him? How did this rebellion spread through the heavens? If you want to understand what really happened, stay tuned because the next part of this story will reveal the behind the scenes of the war that forever changed the history of heaven and earth. The Great War in Heaven. Lucifer's pride was not confined to his own heart. He began to spread his dissatisfaction. If God was just, why should he be the only one to rule? If the angels were so powerful, why couldn't they have more freedom? The poison of rebellion began to spread. Revelation 12:7-9 mentions a war in heaven. Michael, the archangel warrior, led the heavenly armies against Lucifer and his followers. It was a battle of unimaginable proportions. The fallen angels believed they could win, that they could take the divine throne, but they were wrong. The war ended with the expulsion of Lucifer and a third of the angels from heaven. They were cast down to earth, becoming the demons we know today. Lucifer, now called Satan, became the enemy of humanity, seeking revenge against God by corrupting his creation. The meaning of the rebellion and its consequences. But what does this story really mean? Lucifer's rebellion was not just an isolated event. It symbolizes the human desire for power, the pride that leads to the fall, the illusion that we can be greater than we really are. Many religions and philosophies interpret this narrative as a warning about the dangers of ego, vanity, and unchecked ambition. Some even see Lucifer as a symbol of freedom and questioning, while others view him as the ultimate representation of corruption and destruction. The fact is that this story continues to spark intense debates. Did Lucifer truly rebel alone, or was there something deeper behind it? Does the free will of angels still exist? Can they change sides? And more importantly, if God knew this would happen, why did he allow it? This last question is one of the most intriguing and controversial. Some argue that God allowed the rebellion to test true loyalty. Others believe it is all part of a bigger plan that we still do not fully understand. The legacy of Lucifer's fall. Lucifer's rebellion marked the beginning of a cosmic conflict between good and evil, a battle that, according to the Bible, is still unresolved. But now I want to know your opinion. Was Lucifer just a traitor, or did he have legitimate reasons to question divine rule? If you were in heaven, would you have taken sides in the rebellion or remained loyal to God? Did this story really happen, or is it just a metaphor for something greater? Leave your comment, because this is one of the most controversial topics of all time, and your opinion is essential for us to continue this debate. So subscribe to not miss anything.